Welcome to the Ready to Love Season 7 exclusive interviews. This is Couples Couch with
Pat,
and I'm Cam. Let's get into it. So Blake self-eliminated during episode 11, but Blake is here and he's ready to share his experience on Ready to Love. So let's welcome Blake to the show. Hi Blake, welcome to the show.
what's going on?
Hey Pat, hey Cam, how's it going?
It's going good. So I'm so
Good,
happy you could join us. Let's get into your Ready to Love experience, okay?
Yeah, so nice meeting you. So we know editing plays a major part in how these episodes are given to the viewing audience. Do you think the show portrayed you accurately?
No, not at all. That was kind of the running joke with the people that know me and in my circles. It wasn't an accurate depiction at all. So much so that I only watched episodes 1 and 2. I didn't even watch past 1 and 2 because the person I was looking at on film, I just didn't recognize. To me, it was just over edited.
Oh, wow. We seem to have gotten that same feedback, I guess we could say, from all of your cast members that the show did not necessarily portray them or portray a lot of the conversations that they had with people, you know?
Right. And I get it, right? It goes along with the storyline. I think they have a character for each person and they want to keep in line with that character. So I respect it. I'm not mad at the process,
right.
But it's definitely, a little off-putting and a little awkward to see yourself in a light that's not true to who you are.
Yeah, I agree.
Is there anything else you wish they would have shown or would have not edited out that would have?
Yeah, in my case, I wish they would have shown the other dates. I actually had good connections with people other than, the person I ended up with, Sue-Ann, Susu. Shout out to Susu. We are the both of us, we had other dates, we had other connections, right? There's a lot of energy, there's a lot of vibing that goes on. And unfortunately, things are just selected to go along with the storyline. So you don't get the full picture. So I know a lot of people were wondering, well, how is he still here? Right? That was the question of the day. Yeah. Well, that's partly due to editing. Obviously everyone didn't want me to go home. If everyone wanted me to go home, I wouldn't have been there. So
exactly.
Definitely.
Right. All right. Well, let's move on a little bit and let's dive into the Morgan situation. You guys had beef and it was clear in that one scene where she went completely off on you. But tell us more about that beef. Like, where did it start? Like, how did that problem come about between you and Morgan?
Real quick, let me jump in. I don't think you all had. Did you all have beef? Because from me watching it, it looked like she just attacked him out of nowhere.
Right.
It looked like he was like, "Where is the beef coming from?" But
right.
My bad.
Right.
That's what it looked like to me.
No, I didn't think that she and I had beef. Quite honestly, I think it was carryover from the Jeffrey situation. Okay. During the show, she and Jeffrey became best friends. They were really cool. And I took it as a situation where she was kind of riding for her girl. Okay. We did have a bit of an exchange in the beginning that I didn't think was, that deep. I did know that I heard that she was bothered by some things, and I attempted to have a conversation with her to kind of hear her out. I apologized for how I made her feel, but I wanted to understand exactly what I did that made you feel that way. So she asked, well, how could you apologize if you don't know what you did?
Right.
So, I explained, regardless of what I did, it wasn't my intention for you to feel the way that you're feeling. Mm-hmm. Right. But I want to be able to properly address what was done. So can you tell me, which part of our exchange, you considered offensive?
Right.
And all of a sudden, everything just went left from there. Right.
Yeah.
So I just kind of let it be, let her have it, and just said, okay.
What, and not to dive too deep into it, but what part of it made her feel offensive? Like, what did you say that was in fact?
It wasn't none. She didn't have none. That's why when you pinpointed it, you were like, "Can you tell me exactly what it was?"
Right.
She was left to just blow up. She didn't have an answer.
Yeah. I felt like that was a little part of the energy. I mean, we did have an exchange in the beginning, out of fairness to her, which I don't know how deeply it affected her. In the beginning, and on day one, when you get to know people and you ask your questions, right? I'm asking her questions about, what she's looking for, what she wants. And she said she refused to fall in love with the man that wasn't going to give her a baby.
Okay.
I said, okay, that's fair. Do you have a point in your life where you said, well, if it doesn't happen, I'll move on from there?
Yeah.
She said, no. I said, so if
Mm,
I'm understanding you correctly, God forbid you end up being 50, 55 and you don't have kids, you still won't be with the man that, unless he's going to
right.
give you a baby.
Right.
And I guess that rubbed her the wrong way. That's the only thing that I could think of. She said I was twisting her words and she got
Gotcha.
defensive and I just kind of backed up off of it. But, to me, I was really just trying to get to know the young lady and, see what she was about.
Right.
She
Right.
got offended because you said 50, 55, and she's currently 48. So
Patrick.
that hit home. So like, I got
I mean,
two.
it's important, right? It's important. And I think sometimes people don't really know what they're asking for, right? They know they want it, but when you say it out loud and you hear it out loud, it takes on a completely different connotation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So were y'all ever able to resolve it?
So by the end, by the time I left on this last episode, we were cool. She was going through the drama with Tony and Lyndon.
Yeah.
She came, she cried on my shoulder. I talked to her a little bit, gave a little bit of advice. She said, she asked me, it wasn't on the scene, but she was like, Blake, did you ever think we would be like this? And I was like, nah, keep that same energy when the camera comes on, right? I want that same energy.
Yeah.
So by the end, yeah, it's all love. I really don't have any beef with anybody from the show.
Very good. All right. Well, let's now move on to another piece of beef that you did have on the show,
Okay.
which was with the Jeffrey situation. Let's move into that. At first, you had an interest in Jeffrey, and then y'all's interaction went left, right? So apparently, or allegedly, you said to Jeffrey, I've chosen who I wanted, and it's you, and I don't want to have to be fake with the other ladies. Did you ever say that to Jeff? Why are you answering for Blake?
No,
Did you
no,
ever say that for Jeff?
no,
I can
no.
answer.
To make it clear,
Does.
before you answer Blake, I want to put out there, I am not Team Blake or Team Jeffrey or Team Morgan. Who are you, Team?
I'm not Team Jeffrey.
Yeah.
I gotta be Team somebody else, fine, but I'm not Team Jeffrey.
Everybody's welcome here on the show, but I do want to ask you, did you ever say anything near that or had that combo with Jeffrey?
No. I think that came from, on the first day, we did sit down together to talk to Rashid and Simone.
Okay.
We had a whole conversation and, I was there getting to know everyone, right? So you give everyone their time, you give everyone their couple minutes. By the next day is when they brought on Cynthia. Cynthia was one of my main connections. They don't really show it through the episodes, but actually, if you look at the episode when we were on the boat,
Okay.
you'll see that I was carrying 2 bags. I had 2 gifts, one for each of my prime connections, right? So they just didn't show that part. But when Cynthia came on, I was speaking with Cynthia and Jeffrey came over and scratched me down my back, right? So I just kind of turned and I was like, would you like to join the conversation?
Uh-huh.
And she was just kind of like, oh no. And, she was like, maybe I should walk away. She walked away. It was nothing that I took offense to or anything too bad, but I did say, hey, look, we're here. Can you just, be easy a little bit? And next day, I heard in the women's lounge that, I told her she was the one and, all of this other stuff. So,
yeah.
I just roll with it.
Yeah, I remember exactly how that went down. So word on the street is y'all already recorded the reunion, right?
Yes.
Not asking for spoilers, of course, but did you and Jeffrey resolve your issues at all yet, or?
So, I mean, look, Jeffrey's Jeffrey, right? If nothing at all, she's been consistent, right? So you never really know what you're gonna get from Jeffrey.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're in a good place. I don't have any beef with her. She'll still, communicate. Got some text messages from her, just kind of checking, to see how things are. But it's just one of those things, to be honest. I have no ill will towards her. She wasn't my connection, and I just kind of leave it at that.
Very good. Okay.
Translation: Jeffrey, one of them people whose self-esteem is wrapped up in how everybody else feel about her.
Okay.
So by saying that he chose her and she was his one, but she did that for herself.
Oh, to make herself feel good?
But they can't resolve none because she's alive.
Right. There's nothing to resolve. Remember, we tried to have the conversation on the boat.
Yes, you did. You did try to address it with her, and she didn't bite. And you didn't share, though, also what the issue was. I think because tell us about that.
So let me clarify that. So you got to remember, what happens in the men's lounge is supposed to stay in the men's lounge. What happens in the women's lounge is supposed to stay in the women's lounge.
Mm-hmm.
But there were people who were so bothered within that women's lounge that they came to tell me what was going on. So I wasn't supposed to know to begin with what was said. It's just they weren't buying what was said. And sitting down to talk to her, I was trying to let her know that I was bothered by something that was said. And I didn't want to get into the he say, she say, because I'm getting secondhand information.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to have a conversation where she's saying, well, tell me what the person said. And I'm saying, no, just tell me what you said, because I don't want to go back and forth with, well, that's not what I said. And I don't want to argue what you didn't say. I want to have a conversation about what you did say. Right. So I know a lot of people were kind of split between the sides with my explanation. But the way I saw it, I'm a very blunt, straightforward person.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if you approached me over something that I said to you, I don't have to go back and forth. I would just say, why are you talking to me? This is what you said. I said what you said, and this is what it is. But I felt like she was trying to cut me off and control the narrative, to not be able to let that happen, because, shortly thereafter, she was able to go to Sue-Ann and tell Sue-Ann exactly what it is that I was asking of her, that she couldn't present to me. So, I take it all in the spirit of the show. I take it all in the spirit of the chase, and, people feel different things at different times. So it's not something that I took personal.
True. Because at first I was like, well, she don't know what you could be talking about, because you never really led on to it. But it makes sense now that, like you said, what's said in the lounges are supposed to stay in the lounges. So you didn't want to just come and divulge all of that.
And you know what? And I'm not buying that. I mean, you know what you said. You know what I mean? Like, why would we have to fight over, well, let me see what you think I said. Just say what you said. Right? Let's have an adult conversation.
That's just me assuming good intent. No?
Yeah, and this is all cap because Kamara does not respond like that. Well, let me take it from her point of view. And no, that ain't.
I'm trying to be good.
She know what she was doing.
Right.
Did you have any interest in anyone else on the show other than Sue-Ann? You said earlier it was Cynthia. Good choice.
Yeah, I like Cynthia. She was very nice.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of women on the show that I would give their flowers. But as far as giving flowers, I definitely would have to give flowers to Marcia. I would have to give flowers to Mercedes.
Mm-hmm.
I give flowers to Cynthia. We were all pretty close, through the process. Never had any beef with them. Cynthia was actually my other connection other than Sue-Ann.
Okay.
Like I said, but really, to be honest, it's not really about how you feel about the people that are on the show. I mean, keeping in mind, I was the oldest person on the show, right? I feel like I have to drive this point home.
Okay.
I turned 45 today, right? So you're putting me up with people. Say again?
Happy birthday,
by thank you. So you're sending me on dates with people that are significantly younger than me, right? So it's not an issue of me being away. It's just we don't align in, number one, where we are in life. We don't align on our values, and we don't align on how we would approach things, or even what we want out of life, for that matter. Mm-hmm. So for me, that was something that I thought would come across a little better than what it did on TV, as far as just respecting the boundaries and being able to just say, hey, look, we want different things, but that's just not the energy that you always receive, in those situations.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I can understand that. So you were on the chopping block every week. And after Sue was eliminated, you made the decision to go ahead and self-eliminate yourself on the episode. Did you make that decision because you felt like the group was going to eliminate you next?
No, not at all. Not at all. So I had a genuine connection with Sue-Ann, and, we were rocking, we were vibing. And for me, it was a choice to leave, not because I didn't have any other connections, but I had already put time and energy into the person that I chose. And the person that I chose was Sue-Ann. I didn't see any benefit of being there. I mean, there's no, prize at the end, so to speak, right? The person that I wanted was leaving. And that's really what it comes down to. I mean, there's no gain for continuing to go on. I decided that I wanted to pursue the connection outside of the show and continue what it is that we have been growing.
Okay. And that leads me right into my next question, which is, once you self-eliminated, did you leave, take your microphone off and was like, yo, Sue-Ann, I'm free. Like, where you at? Did you get around?
I mean, truth be told, right, once we knew what was going on, I had already packed our stuff up. You know what I mean? I already had reservations set up for food. We knew what we were going to eat. We left the show. She left. I left slightly thereafter.
Yeah.
We went to dinner and we just kept it pushing. We kept it pushing.
Nice.
Congratulations first on leaving the show after finding your connection.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
And now that the Ready to Love journey is over, what has it taught you?
What has it taught me? To be honest with you, I learned more from the dating experience on the man side, right? Because when you're dating a woman, you never get to see the man to your left and to your right when they're dating that same woman, right? So I got to see some things that I didn't know existed, I didn't know happened, right? So looking at some of the things that have transpired on the show, some of the drama, some of the various things, that's not something that you'd be a part of and be able to see in your lane based off what your personality is. And that's, I think, the biggest takeaway from me.
It's interesting now that you say that. I look back because, like, if I had to date alongside someone like Tony, I would be like, how could any of y'all find this Neanderthal attractive? Like, but it's not me to say what's attractive. It would be up to the woman.
And you know what? To add to that, I mean, shout out to Tony. Tony is actually a cool dude. It's more so on the women's side, right? And on the men's side too. I mean, it's not a dig on Tony, but we talk about red flags, right, on the show. Mm-hmm. And it's like red flag, red flag, red flag. And, it's interesting to me to see how people skirt around and dance around to accept the red flags.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's not something I would have, got to see on a regular dating situation. Because when you're black and white, you move on. So
Blake, before we go, for the viewers out there, where can we follow you and what do you have going on that's new, or what can people, look forward to in the future for you?
So you can follow me on IG. My Instagram is Champ Fenimore, CHAMP_FENIMORE. This experience has kind of drawn me to having some conversations. When I've seen some of the things that have come from this, it really interests me to further these conversations. So I'm looking at doing a podcast called Gentleman's Code.
Nice.
Where, it's geared more so towards the men. I mean, obviously women are welcome, but it's more so towards the men, to just kind of discuss some of the things that are going on the man side that I just didn't know existed. And, look, just think about it like barbershop talk, right? So that's what we're doing. That's what we'll be. And that should be up and running within the next week or so.
Nice. Congratulations on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
That in the comment section and under this video as well. Thank you so much, Blake, for stopping by. We wish you the best of luck on your journey. And to everyone out there, thank you for watching. Please be sure to hit the like button to support our channel. Also, drop your comments in the comment section below. Blake and Couples Couch would love to hear from you. Again, we thank you for watching, and we will see everyone in the next video. Bye, everyone.